Hi, I'm Chris Clark with Land Elevated, and today we're going to talk about choosing a location for your vacant land. Now, when you're choosing your location, there's a lot of criteria that you want to consider, and one thing that we recommend doing is figuring out which criteria is most important to you and then starting to narrow down your search. So in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the criteria you may be considering, and then what to consider within those criteria, how to put them in the right order for you, and then how to start to narrow down your search so you find a property that suits all your needs, meets your criteria, and really fits what it is that you need for your perfect piece of vacant land. So the first piece of criteria that we're going to talk about is proximity to your current home. Now, when you're looking at vacant land, sometimes you want to be real close to where you currently live. Is it that important these days and age? Well, let's talk about why it might be. If you are in a town that you have a lot of friends and a lot of family, and you don't want to be too far away from that, then you're going to want to choose a piece of vacant land that's located fairly close to where you currently live. That way, it's not too tough to get there. Perhaps your folks live down the street, and or your kids also live in the same town, and you want to be able to visit them on a regular basis. Or perhaps you've got a lot of friends and you don't want to just see them once or twice a year. You want to go over there and be able to see them. So maybe you want to circle a ring that's an hour away, an hour within your current home. Another reason you might want to consider the proximity to your current home is if you're developing a property and you want to stay in your current house and also manage the development of that property and potentially do some of it yourself, that may be another reason to choose a property that's really close to your current home. We've had buyers buy properties down the street from them, and they go over and they're able to work on the property and maintain it while it's going through the development process just because it's right down the street. Now, on the flip side, in this day and age, you really don't need to buy a property that's near your current home, and in order to develop it, you can outsource everything, hire contractors far away, and have them develop the property and send you pictures and videos. So that's the first consideration when we're looking at criteria, is how close is it, or what is the proximity to your current home. The next thing to consider is what can legally be built on the land. And this is something that may take priority over proximity to your current home. Now, it depends on what you want to do. If you want to build a standard single family home on the property, chances are you can go just about anywhere in the country and build a single family home. Now, if you want to build something a little bit more unique, then you're going to want to try to sort the area by what is allowed, and will it allow what it is that you want to build there. We've got a lot of people that come to us and they want to buy a property where they can put a tiny home on that. And the reality is there's not truly a set definition for a tiny home. So we always have to ask, what is the square footage that you want to build this tiny home to be? And let's say, for example, maybe you already bought a tiny home, maybe it's 200 square feet. Well, if you're looking at zoning, the building regulations, they don't really specify whether or not tiny homes are allowed, because there's not a specific definition that's widely accepted for what a tiny home truly is. However, what you can do is you can look for the square footage requirements in a certain area. So a lot of places have square footage requirements, a minimum square footage requirement. And it's pretty common to see 500 square feet or 600 square feet or 1,000 square feet be the minimum square footage. So you're going to want to do some research and find out what areas allow a structure that's 200 square feet, and then that may be your top priority as far as search criteria. Maybe there's an area up in Washington, so you might be far away from Washington, but if you want to build your tiny home there, that may be one of the spots. There's lots of areas around the country that allow tiny homes, but it just depends on where it is that you want to be. So you'll do your research there. Perhaps you want to live in an RV on the property for part-time or part of the year, or all of the year. So again, there's most areas in the country don't allow full-time RV living unless it's a mobile home park. But there's some areas of the country where you can live in an RV for up to 180 days a year, and that may be top criteria for you. Another thing would be maybe a modular home. So maybe you want to get creative and start with something a little bit smaller and build your first 500 square foot piece of the modular home. Make sure that the modular homes are allowed first of all, then that's how you'll start your search criteria with what is allowed. So what can legally be built on the land. All right, so that brings us to the next consideration or the next criteria to consider, and that is climate. Now, when we're talking about climate, there's all sorts of things out there that you could wish for. So a lot of people will want all 4 seasons, and there's certain areas that you would probably not want to go if you wanted all 4 seasons. I wouldn't suggest going down to maybe Florida or Southern California because those climates are very stable. You don't truly get the 4 seasons as, say, an area that you might get in Virginia or the Appalachian Mountains. You might see a better set of 4 seasons where there's truly a summer, fall, winter, and spring that you can enjoy. Now, on the flip side, maybe you want a place where it's got a great winter. Maybe you're an outdoor enthusiast that likes to get out and enjoy the snow. So in that case, you might want to go to somewhere in, say, the Rocky Mountains, maybe Colorado, and pick up a piece that you can go, and there's 10 snowboarding or skiing resorts that are nearby, or there's a lot of backcountry activities that you can do that are in the snow. So another consideration that we get when it comes to climate is people will call us and they need something that is dry, high and dry. It's a higher elevation and it's a drier climate, and it's typically doctor's orders. Maybe they've been living in a humid area for their entire lives, and the doctor says, hey, for your respiratory system, it's much better to live in a climate that's drier, higher elevation, and it'll be better for your breathing. So that is the next criteria to consider, is climate. Now, the next thing in the set of criteria that you're going to want to think about is, what are the facilities that are nearby? Now, if you're okay going totally off-grid and being really far from anything, then you don't consider this as much. But the big 3 when we're talking about facilities are healthcare facilities, shopping, and airports. So transportation. I guess airports or any major public transportation hub, such as a bus station or a train station. And how far is it that you want to be from each one of these things? Now, if you are okay, you're in great health, you don't need to get to the doctor for regular checkups once a week or anything like that. Maybe you just go once a year for a standard checkup. Being that close to a healthcare facility probably isn't top of your list. It wouldn't prioritize necessarily over other things such as maybe climate or proximity to your current home. That being said, on the flip side, you may want to be near a healthcare facility because you have a health condition that requires you to get over and visit with the doctor on a regular basis. The next thing is shopping, and with that, we're talking about groceries, everyday household items that you're going to want to have, or even building materials. So a lot of times when we're looking at properties, we're looking at how close it is to a Walmart or a grocery store, and how close it is to a Home Depot or a Lowe's or one of the big building outlets where you can pick up building materials. And that's going to be another thing to consider when you're looking at nearby facilities. And then lastly is, how close do you need to be to a major transportation hub? Do you need to fly in and out of an international airport on a regular basis? If so, you're probably not going to want to be 3 hours away from an international airport. However, if you're flying in and out of an international airport from one side of the country to the next, and it's once every maybe 6 months, then it's not that big of a deal. You can drive 3 hours to the airport, park your car, and and take that trip. So that is the next big criteria that we like to consider. It's nearby facilities and how convenient do you need them to be for you. And then last but not least are activities and lifestyle. So, this sort of ties a lot of the things that we just talked about together, but you do want to think about what activities are nearby. This is one of the most exciting things, and probably some of the things that we talk to a lot of our customers about most. I mean, what activities are near this property? If you are an avid fisherman, you may want to look for an area that's got great fishing opportunities nearby. Maybe you want to do some fly fishing up in the Rockies, or somewhere else around the country. If same thing with hunting. I mean, there's hunting areas depending on what your game is. You may want to consider which area is best for hunting. Maybe you want to build a base camp on the property. And we get people that want to buy a 5-acre tract, and they can buy it for financing of $150 a month, and it's way cheaper. They do 5 trips a year with their buddies. They get to take their campers, travel trailers, RVs down there. They kind of clear a few areas, put some campfires out, and it's way cheaper than maybe the campsite that they pay $79 a night for, and they don't own anything. On their own land, they can set it up the way that they want. They can use it as a base camp. A lot of times they'll set up a shooting range and on the property, as long as you're far enough from any neighboring homes, which with us, we sell a lot of rural properties. So you can set up a shooting range on your property and just have some fun with people as you're out there. And rather than paying money for a campground, you can actually own the land, and it can be right near a hunting zone that you're at. Same thing with any other outdoor activity. A lot of things that you're going to want to consider are, what kind of fun can you have around the property? So what activities, what type of lifestyle do you want to be able to allow yourself to have with this property? All right, so those are some of the top considerations, some of the top criteria, I would say, that you're going to want to consider when looking for an area that has that perfect piece of vacant land for you. Now, I'll end it here with the last thing is really take a hard look at which criteria matter most to you. You're going to want to prioritize the criteria that is most important to you at the top, and then work your way down from there. But what it does is it really helps you narrow down your search for vacant land and make it easier to find that dream piece of property. Okay, thanks so much for watching. I'm Chris Clark with Land Elevated. You can contact us anytime. Look at our website at landelevated.com, or you can reach out via email, sales@landelevated.com. Thanks so much.